Basically, what happened was I went in very confident, a bit overconfident, because I went in with zero debt and enough cash in my bank account and some investments as well. The bank officer was asking me, "Oh, do you have any student loan?" "No, sir," I proudly tell him. "Do you have any car loan?" "No," proudly with a smile on my face. Then he turned at me and he said, "Actually, that's a bad thing."
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of
Ownself, Pandai Pandai.
And today, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be talking about this subject. You know why? It's about money.
Wow.
Who has enough money? Definitely not me lah, I'm gonna just say.
I have 3 digits in my bank account right now.
Okay.
Oh no, me too.
Anyway, this is why we are in a crisis lah. So we have brought in actually a very special guest with us today. So all I know is that his name is Richard, and that's about all I know about him. So Richard, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, what you do.
Sure, thanks so much, Joe. So hey guys, I'm Cikgu Rich, or Richard for my full name, and basically I do quite a lot of things related to personal finance. So for my main job, I'm actually working with an NGO where I travel all around Malaysia teaching young people in high schools about money management. That's my main gig is that. Then on the side, I do a lot of other small stuff lah. Basically, whatever jobs come my way, I just say yes. So like emceeing, I run a small photo booth business. I do content creation. I do content development for companies. I teach investing in universities too. Anything that comes my way, I just take it and figure it out later.
No wonder he got this reporter voice.
No,
MC.
Is it?
Hello everyone.
I have a question. So, Cikgu Rich, are you rich?
Am I rich? Of course. That's actually my pickup line, you know. When I meet girls, right, I always introduce myself. I'm like, "Hi, I'm rich." Works every time, bro.
Bro, I'm so
I
sorry.
like to say that.
For someone who
I
can...
mean, if you're named Richard, right, gotta use it, right? Like,
No, but for someone who can so confidently say, "Yes, I'm rich," you gotta be rich, man.
Yeah, you gotta be
Oh,
you gotta
somewhere.
prove it, no?
Yeah.
I will share more on that later. I think
Oh
it might interest you guys. Yeah,
Sure
what I have to
thing.
share on that.
I'm excited to be rich too after this episode.
So you mentioned that you do like financial management for like kids or like, is it like young adults?
High school youths mainly, and university students as well.
Like, do you do like workshops or?
That is
like,
correct, workshops.
Mainly like workshops, like, I
Yeah.
see. So when you go into like these young adult settings, or like for example you go to schools and you host these kind of workshops, right? What are the more common questions that they will ask you, or more like common challenges that they throw at you, like, "Cikgu Rich, how to get rich?" Like, is it just that, or is there any common themes that you see in kids nowadays?
Okay, if I'm teaching older students, right, like university age students, the number one question they always ask, "What stock should I invest in now?"
Oh.
And that's a question that we cannot answer because we're
Yeah.
not allowed to advise
Yeah.
people, "Hey, you should put your money here, you should
yeah.
put your money there." We're not allowed to do that. If kids let me think, kids, right? Kids like to ask, "How can I afford to buy an expensive house, expensive car?" They always share this as their dream one. And then I got to kind of bring them back to reality a bit. Like, you can be rich, but you don't need fancy car, fancy house. That's a bit harder to get lah. Yeah.
Interesting. You can be rich, but you don't always need a fancy car or fancy house.
No, you do
Then
not.
rich for what?
Oh, rich for what? You can enjoy life in many other ways. Because I feel, right, fancy house, fancy car, right, only a handful of people in this world are going to be able to afford and experience that. To afford it responsibly, shall
Right.
I say. Some people afford it irresponsibly.
Right.
Yeah, so you don't have to aim for that highest level because only a handful of people in this world
Oh, so
will get there.
So to you, owning a fancy car, fancy house is considered like a highest level. It's not like what? It's interesting because I would imagine that the highest level is like a lot more than just the house or a car. No?
If
Or
you
are we
wanna
talking
talk-
about like massively expensive car, that kind?
To me, even a BMW also I consider expensive already.
Interesting.
Yeah. So to me, I actually have something to share later on, maybe
Okay.
later on towards the end with more context about what I look for when I say that I am rich.
Right. That's really good. I love that.
Okay.
Let's go.
So speaking about like what Kim said, having a big house means you're rich, or like owning a Tesla in this day and age is considered you're rich already. So what are some?
That's the dream.
It is the dream. What are some common misconceptions in general about finances that you think people will have? Like for example, that like thinking that if I have a big house, I'm rich already enough. Or any other misconceptions that even Caleb or Kim, if you all have any that you've encountered before.
Okay. Misconceptions. Definitely got quite a few. First one I see very, very often in Malaysia. people still think that investing is very difficult, or you need to be good at math in order to invest well.
Oh, that's me.
So yeah, you still have
That's
that.
also me,
You
bro.
still see this in Malaysia where people have that
Singapore
impression
also.
from the movies. It's like, you see that guy with the 3 monitors on screen.
Wall
and
Street,
you're
Wall
like,
Street,
Wall Street, yeah.
Wall Street, yeah, Wolf of Wall Street. They think, to be an investor, you gotta be like that, But actually nowadays in 2025, right, it's easier than ever. There are literally apps where you just dump in your money and you just say, do you want low risk or high risk? And that's it, done. You're
the
an
robo
investor.
kind lah.
So low risk
Exactly.
means long time money low.
Low risk,
What?
low reward.
Depends
That's
lah.
the
It
generic.
got different.
the
You can choose the
generic term.
different
Understand,
durations.
understand.
But I would imagine that if you are talking so those are the robo kind of platforms, right? But if you're talking about really looking into stocks, looking into companies, looking into like all of these, it is still considerably difficult, right? Because you need to know the industry, you need to know what's happening in the world, you need to keep in touch with everything that's going on.
Definitely,
So that's where
yeah.
the difficult part comes in. I mean, for me lah, at
Correct.
least.
And that is why Cikgu Rich does not analyze individual stocks.
Ah,
So I don't. I'm an
okay.
accounting and finance graduate, and I don't bother trying to analyze stocks one by one to try to guess which one is going to do well. I rarely, if ever, try to do that, and I usually just use robo-advisor apps.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Caleb, what about you? Have you had any like misconceptions that you've heard from your friends or your family?
I think a recent one that I've heard, I don't know whether it's misconception, but like owning houses now is like not a form of investment.
Oh, yeah. I've heard this also.
Not a form.
Like it's like not the investment that we think about. Because like, okay, owning a house is like, okay, I have an asset to my name. Well, even as an asset, I also don't know lah. But like they say asset, you have an asset to your name, you can get rent, then you can like do something with it, then you pay back your loan. But then like, is it really like viable to buy a house in this day and age?
So you're telling a guy who's actually a property investor. So maybe I'll share more on that.
Hey yo, right person,
is
right
that
job.
a misconception? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, for me, I think the common misconception that I heard from people around me would probably be like that budgeting is not very important, or like budgeting is it's optional. Like if you can manage your money well, you don't really need to budget it as much.
That's budgeting, no? Managing your money is budgeting.
Managing budgeting as in like you set down like maybe 300 ringgit is for this. Managing
Right,
money is like
right.
maybe okay, I know that I don't need roughly lah.
Oh.
Yeah, because I think from my own personal experience, that was me exactly. Like a year ago, I never really budget. I just said, okay, I said this month I use this amount of money, that's all. And then after that, I just go along with that amount of money. But I realized that it's really not sustainable lah.
It flies away very fast.
Very fast.
I don't know why.
You don't keep track of it.
Oh, I have one more misconception. I don't know whether it's a misconception or is it like there's truth in it, but it's like you earn a lot of money, so you don't need to think about the money going up.
No, okay.
You're saying that's a
Interesting.
misconception, meaning
I
that
don't-
is true or that
Like,
is not
I don't know
true?
whether it's true or false.
Oh, you don't know lah.
Yeah.
He's
It's
just
just
throwing
a
opinions.
conception.
Conception, no
It's
miss.
just a no
No
miss.
miss.
You can add the miss if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean like what Caleb mentioned about earning a lot of money, right? If you're earning already so much money, where do you use that money? If you have already so much money, you're obviously going to use it like in terms of buying a house, like what you mentioned, owning assets, right? And I think that is a very, very scary and a very dangerous thing for like at my age to think about. It's so daunting to think about buying a house, or like should I put my money in, save it in like invest it in terms of like investments that you mentioned, or is it like I should buy a house now because they say house is assets. Anyways, so we're going to talk about loans first, okay? Because I think loans is a very, very scary thing for us. Like buying house, buying car is a very daunting thought. Okay, so firstly, just want to ask, when we apply for, let's say I want to buy a car loan lah.
Yep.
What do you think banks look for when I am applying for it?
Very good question. Actually, this is something a lot of people don't realize until they go to the bank and ask the question themselves. And it's something I also didn't realize. So what banks look for, right, is basically 2 questions. It's can you repay the loan? And number 2 is will you repay the loan? There's a difference between those two. Can you repay the loan? They look at your income level. What loans are you currently already paying? Financially, are you rich enough to buy this car?
You can sustain or
So
not.
that
lah.
is can you pay the loan?
Yeah.
And then for will you pay the loan, right?
Integrity.
Imagine I come to you, Kimberly, and I
Yeah.
ask you for 10 ringgit. Can you give me 10 ringgit?
Sure.
Sure. And then I pocket it. And then next week, I don't pay you back. And then I ask you the next week, hey, can I have 20 ringgit now?
Give me back my 10 ringgit first.
Give me back your 10 ringgit first. It's okay. I ask Caleb over here. Caleb, can I have 20 ringgit?
Sure.
The answer is no, Caleb. No.
okay.
So
I'm
you
here,
see,
I'm
right?
helping
You see,
you, bro.
correct. You see, right? What happens is when one bank, let's say this is a bank for today, when one bank knows that you are not trustworthy, all the banks in Malaysia are going to know immediately, hey, this person cannot trust them. And that is why you will not get a loan with them.
How do they know? Do they like have a system or?
So that's called the credit score.
Right.
So that's the system that they use.
So do they use that in your credit card as well?
They do. So credit cards, PTPTN loans. Actually, that's one people don't realize. People always think, oh, credit score means house loan must pay on time, car loan must pay on time.
Right.
People forget about PTPTN loans.
What is
you know.
PTPTM?
PTPTN is your student loans in Malaysia.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, say that lah.
Yeah. Student loans. Student loans. We all Malaysians,
Say
we
that.
know one PTPTN.
Okay. Wait, so correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, when you want to take all these big loans in the future, it's actually important to have a credit card in the first place. Because one of the things that I grew up with, and actually even now I'm learning that a lot of people say, hey, actually you want to get a house next time, go and get a credit card now and start
God, yes.
spending and paying, obviously paying back.
Yeah.
But I was like, really? But if I don't ever have a credit card, then I'm not in debt, what? Isn't that a good thing?
Cikgu Rich approves your advice for today.
For
That
today.
is so accurate actually. And
Okay.
I actually have an exact story about that. Because when I wanted to take my first loan, right, I didn't have a car loan at the time because
Okay.
my parents bought me my first car. Thanks, mom and dad. And I didn't have any student loans at the time. So I didn't have any credit card as well. And I went to go and buy my first house. So I went to the bank, right? So I went to one bank. I won't mention which bank because I don't want the Sotong bank to get offended. And basically what happened was I went in very confident, a bit overconfident because I went in with zero debt and enough cash in my bank account and some investments as well so that I can show them proof, this guy can afford to pay back your house loan. I was comfortable at the time, right? And my income is all okay. And then as the guy is asking me questions, right? The bank officer was asking me, oh, do you have any student loan? No, sir. I proudly tell him, no, okay. Do you have any car loan? No, proudly with a smile on my face. Then he turned at me and he said, actually, that's a bad thing.
Oh.
And I was shocked. I was like, wait, what? I don't have car loan, I don't have student loan, and that's a bad thing?
It's a bad thing to not owe money.
Exactly. How is that a bad thing? So that's when I realized that the banks, when you don't have any record of borrowing money, they don't know if they can trust you. And right after that day, that's when I wanted to immediately sign up for a credit card.
Interesting.
And that was what I did.
And so as long as you have a credit card and you spend on everyday spending, that in itself should be enough for your first ever big ticket item loan. Because I would imagine also if I'm younger, I don't have a credit card, and then the only thing I have a credit card for maybe is for my everyday spending, and now finally I want to get a car. That's my first big ticket thing, ma.
Yeah.
So they will look at my everyday spending, is it?
Correct. The credit card is a very good start. Yeah. But make sure you pay it on time.
Of course.
So for me, either I pay it immediately after I swipe the card, I immediately log in and I pay
Wow.
to be super disciplined
Oh.
and not miss out on any payment, not even 1 cent. I don't want to
That's
be
good.
late because I really wanted to buy a house that time. lah.
Correct.
Or you just lock your credit card at home and you don't use it.
Oh wait, huh?
Huh?
Yeah.
But then
even if
you know spending what?
No need
Yeah.
to spend also, you're still building a credit score.
Oh.
So as long as you have a credit card
Yeah.
on file.
It's a credit score
Correct.
already.
As long as you are not late payment.
So the only thing that gets flagged in the system is late payment.
Late payments, correct.
That is
So
very
that
interesting.
advice, maybe I should caveat it. That is what I've heard from one of my friends who works in a bank. But I'm not sure if all the banks look at it the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
So essentially the lesson is having a good credit score is very important.
Correct.
Oh, okay. This is the first lesson. I'm
Super important.
I also don't know because I don't have a credit card actually.
Yeah.
No.
And it's hard.
It's time to,
Kim, you got credit card or
start
not?
applying.
I don't have a credit. I have a credit card in Singapore. I don't have a credit card here.
Yeah, I don't have a credit card here so.
No, but it's no credit card in Malaysia
Wow.
is okay, but no credit card. What? Joe, how?
I don't know because when I was young, it's like what Kim said. My mom always said like, when you have a credit card, right, you won't be able to budget. So that is they
Yeah.
always say like, don't use credit card, use debit card. Then you at least will see the money go out of your account. Then you will know how to budget.
Yeah, no, so that was what I grew up with as well.
Yeah.
The only reason why I have a credit card is because in Singapore, I signed up for this like endowment plan thing, and so it goes into automatically in my credit card. So they open a credit card for me. So I never chose to open a credit card. Yeah.
Right.
But I realized, right, after I signed up for a credit card, my first credit card, right, I realize how much I spend a month, and I'm a little bit more cautious when I spend.
Because you see the big bill.
Yeah, because the bill is huge at the end of the month. Then I'm like,
Right.
okay, so that means I need to save my this amount of my salary just to cover my credit card.
Isn't it a bad thing? Because for credit cards, you can pay a partial sum. So then the remaining will roll into the next month. So
Yeah,
then you
correct.
actually are incurring quite a bit of debt as well. So if you do partial payment and you let the remaining roll over, is that considered paying late, or is that still considered a good credit score if you pay
I'm
partial?
actually not sure if that will flag up in your credit score.
Right.
If I had to guess, I would say it wouldn't be looked upon as a green flag. So
Right.
it might be a beige to red
Beige,
flag,
okay.
beige to red flag. But either way, I wouldn't recommend that to anyone.
Yeah.
Don't just rely on the minimum payment for your credit card. Yeah, just pay it off in full every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in terms of the money that we spend, like for example your credit card, right? Is there any specific ratio in terms of how much we should be spending versus how much, or maybe how much we should be borrowing? If let's say I'm using a credit card,
Yeah.
is there a ratio in terms of my income versus my borrowings or my spendings that we should adhere to, or any advice on that?
Yeah. My first comment on your question would be we shouldn't borrow using a credit card. You can spend using a credit card, but you make sure you have the cash to pay it off before the month ends. Immediately, if not. You have that same cash. So I wouldn't use the word borrow using the credit card. Wrong. Like that's the wrong move already. But let's say we take it. I think I know what you're asking about is about how much you can afford to borrow in general, right? I think like if you look at, let's say most people, you have a car loan, your student loans and all, right? One way to tell if you're borrowing too much money is actually using this one formula. The banks use this formula called DSR. You guys heard of that before?
Deposit savings
Revenue.
Very close, very close.
DSLR. the back thing photo.
That's why Cikgu Rich is here today to enlighten us a little bit, right?
DSR.
So DSR stands for debt service ratio.
Oh,
yeah,
Sounds
I've
very
heard of that.
complicated. I've maybe
Okay.
heard of it before. Sounds very complicated. Formula, right? The moment I say the word formula, people are scared.
Got
Then
square
need
root,
maths, right?
Got square
need
root,
math.
then like divide, then
Thankfully, divide got.
Oh.
But that's
Oh,
all.
no.
That's all. Just divide.
okay.
Thankfully, we've got a calculator.
Right? Okay. How it works is you look at how much you need to pay for your loans every month, your total monthly loans that you repay, divided by the total amount of money that comes into your bank account every month. So your total salary lah when it hits your bank account. So for example, if you are earning 5K into your bank account, and your loans going out every month is 3K, let's say, that's 60%.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
That's quite worrisome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is 60%. So 60% is your DSR, which is considered a bit on the higher side.
Okay, so what's a good percentage?
Great question. So a good percentage would be closer to 30%. That would be a healthy DSR, where if you go to the bank and say, hey, can I buy another car? The bank will say, okay, I think you can, because your DSR is still around 30%.
Okay, sorry
or
guys,
less.
can you all give me math a bit? 30% of 5Ks?
30%?
15.
1.5K.
1.5K.
Wow.
1.
How do you get?
1.5K?
Yeah. So on a 5K
So-
salary, yeah. That's
So okay,
healthy.
so if your current DSR is, you said 30%.
Yeah.
And then you want to go and get another loan for something else. So that increases your DSR, right?
Correct.
And then you should stop, basically.
Yes, correct. Then you should stop, or the banks will stop you.
Interesting.
So-
Means they won't
Okay.
lend the money to you.
Correct.
They'll
So
reject
a
you,
common mistake that Malaysians make, right, is that they buy an expensive car as a fresh grad. They go to the bank and they ask the bank, hey, how much loan can I take? Then with their 4K salary, the bank says, okay, you can take up to this much. You can buy a
you
Honda
can do
or a
math.
Then they
Toyota.
take it.
Then they take it. They think that there's no consequence. Then
Right.
maybe 3-4 years down the road, they want to buy a house. They save up the deposit. They work very hard. Go to the bank and the bank say, sorry, cannot, your DSR too high.
Okay, so what if I have one account in bank A and then I have another account in bank B, and maybe I'm an entrepreneur while I am also working full time. So maybe my full time salary goes to bank A and my entrepreneurial salary, my own business I pay myself lah, okay, goes into bank B. When I go and take a loan, does the bank, whichever bank I go to, do they look at both statements, or is it if I go bank A, they only look at bank A salary income?
Wow, LHDN is very interested in your conversation right now. Which bank, Kimberly? Which bank am I
don't
doing?
know.
Very interesting. So you can combine both. So as long as you have proof of payment, if you're an employee of a company, then you have your salary slips.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you should have, at the end of the year, what banks will ask you for is your tax filing. So from
Right.
your
EA
taxes,
form.
right?
EA form.
Your EA form. So in your tax slip,
Ah.
your tax paper, you will put your employment income plus your freelance income and all combined
Okay.
straight away the bank.
Understand.
They don't even need to check your bank account. All they just look
I
at how
see.
much tax you pay.
And so my DSR is based on my combined income.
Yeah.
Interesting.
In general, right, that means not just your EA form is very important, but just filing your taxes yearly as well as your additional income is very important, right? Because then the government and also Bank Negara, then where does Bank Negara stand in this?
Bank Negara.
Are they just a bank?
Because like a lot of
Is that
times
the-
they say like, oh, Bank Negara has like a record of like your payments. And like, a lot of loans need to go through like Bank Negara approval.
Right. Are
this
you
and
talking
that.
about Secris?
I'm
Is that
not
the
too
one?
sure, but yeah, sure.
I'm also not too sure
Ryan
about
Seacrest.
Bank Negara in the.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not too sure about Bank Negara's role in all of this, but Secris is basically referring to your credit score.
So it's like that's a body that is governing the
All of the banks in Malaysia, all the financial institutions.
Interesting.
They're like the HQ bank like that. Control
yeah,
everyone else.
I'm just sitting here and all these terms.
the same thing when you say DBS, HDB, BTO. Now you feel it.
All different. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, I wanted to briefly touch on, when you mentioned about debt service ratio and then how existing, for example, if I might already have a car loan, right? Let's say I want to buy a house. When you think it's the right time or, right situation where I should be buying a house instead of renting a house, or should I be more aware of renting a house instead of buying a house? Is there a specific timeline that we should go with, or?
So buy or rent lah, basically for your first house, is it?
Yes.
Correct.
I want to know. I want to know.
first house.
Correct. Same.
Answer.
Okay.
Teacher.
Oh, you want the answer? I thought
Cikgu
you
Rich.
give me the
I
answer.
also want the answer.
No,
I also want the
I want
answer.
the answer.
Can, no problem.
No problem. Can you imagine say no, I don't answer?
Okay,
I mean, that's why I'm here, right? That's why Cikgu Rich is
yeah.
here today, right? So I would say if you're planning to get a first house, right, one of the very slightly controversial pieces of advice that financial influencers on online give to people is you should actually buy your first house, not for you to stay in, is to rent out to someone else. So your first house should be an investment. So ideally, you are still doing this because I think a lot of Malaysians, right, in Asian culture, we don't move out at 18. If you can, you try to stay with your parents until you're married.
Save money.
Yeah. It's very good advice.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
if you can, that's great. If you need to travel for work and stuff, or you need to move house for work, understand. Totally understand. But if you can stay with your parents while you are buying your first house and you rent it out, then you are already one financial milestone ahead of so many people in their 20s. So that's one interesting piece of advice. Then what happens when you want to move out? Maybe you can't afford 2 houses, right? Maybe. What you can do is then you go and rent. So you rent a place first in the meantime.
Correct.
But you already have one investment growing. Or the proper term for it is you're building equity. Your rent payment is paying the bank, so you don't have to pay so much. Maybe a bit.
Okay. But the question I asked this because I heard from my friend that they said that houses nowadays, right? Actually, they always say investing in a house is a good thing because always get money back. But then I hear that houses now in Malaysia especially it's starting to be an oversupply, for example. And then let's say if I do buy a house, right, it might be difficult to rent it out. So the thing is it's wise to, like you mentioned, buy a house and then use it as like a side income. Or, you really have to be able to tank it first.
Right. Great question. I can share this from my own experience because I invest in properties. So between my wife and I now we have 4 properties.
That's why he's rich.
Cikgu Rich.
Very small houses. If you see the size of the house, right, it's all 450 square feet, that kind of
studios.
size,
No idea what size it is.
Studios, but the location is very important.
Right.
So this is what I will say. Oversupply is true to some extent, but in some locations, the demand is still higher than the supply.
Correct.
So that's where you buy lah. That's the place where you buy.
Because the concentration of people is not allocated to only one space. It's usually in different pockets.
Exactly.
And also, I guess you're looking at target audience as well, your demographic. Who are you hoping to rent out to?
Yeah,
like
precisely.
I'm renting right now, and I only look at specific areas because of my community of where I want to be.
Yep.
And so I would never consider anywhere else, I guess. And supply is so low.
Yeah. To give
Yeah.
you an idea how quickly some of our properties were rented out, 2 times that I looked for tenants, it was less than a week. One of the
Wow.
times this was for a new development. That one took about 3 weeks. So that was the longest.
Right.
Yeah. So the other times all less than a week. This was in Bangsar South area. Yeah.
Oh, Cikgu Rich, really rich.
Yeah, man.
450 square feet. Very small, very
But
very
you're
small
not staying in it.
No, I'm not saying
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I'm not saying
So
it.
ultimately-
it's just for my retirement, for my daughter's retirement next
Oh.
time.
So how did when you decided that you wanted to invest in property, you did what you just said lah. You bought your first place, you rented that out, and you stayed. You and your wife, you stayed with your parents or
So that
whoever's-
time, so I didn't know that advice
Yeah.
when I was starting out my property buying journey.
Okay.
So the first house I bought, actually my wife and I stayed in it. We're still staying in it till today. But we do have plans maybe to move out in the near future, rent out where we are currently staying, and then we go and rent a landed house.
Right, because I feel like the capital is difficult, right? Like for me, if I'm thinking of doing that, because right now again we are hoping to get married soon and start a life, right? And we're trying to be financially savvy, and we keep saying, oh, why don't we buy this condo, this new one, smaller, maybe a bit smaller. We can stay for a few months, and then after that, if we want to move to his mom's place, maybe, and then we rent this place out, and then we started to explore this thought, and we went, wait, but what if we want our own house? Then we don't want to stay with your mom. Then what do? We don't have that money. Like we would have spent it on wedding. We would have spent it on like, I don't know, honeymoon. It's going to be hard, right? To suddenly say, yeah, I'm going to buy another place. Just
Correct.
like that.
Yeah.
And building that capital for the second place also will take time to grow.
Yeah.
So how does one even have the base capital to even start this property investing journey?
Wow, sweat man, such a tough question. Wow. Okay. let me try to break it down. First statement that I will give to everyone. I come from a privileged family
Right.
where I don't have to buy my first car. I don't need to pay any student loans. Maybe some of us can relate. Maybe some of the viewers can relate. So I come from a privileged family. If I had to buy my own first car, if I had to pay student loans, then perhaps the story would be very different. So that's the first thing. So my advice today, perhaps it would suit a certain demographic a bit better.
But you see, I appreciate that honesty, right? Because then it's not a blanket statement of everyone can do it. But it's really you need to consider your means and consider what you are able to do. Rather, because a lot of times, I guess, when we hear advice or we listen to podcasts, it's very like blanket. It's like, oh, if you try this, you probably can.
Yeah.
But I actually appreciate what you're saying, which is you know where you stand first lah, and you build law and you try to get that initial first step out.
Yep.
Which
And
I
then
appreciate.
To answer the second part of your question, how do you save up? Actually, there are tips and tricks when it comes to property. So there are 0 down payment options, which are actually not a bad thing. So my latest property investment, I used that option. 0% down payment.
Means you don't pay anything.
Means you
yeah,
don't pay
fine.
anything. You just pay a little bit every month until your condo is completed.
Now a lot.
Now
A lot.
yeah.
I see
A lot
a
of
lot
options,
of my Instagram, right? All big 0 down payment, expat friendly.
But then with that kind of payment arrangement, right? Once you get your keys, it's when they ramp up your
Correct, to the
amount where you
full- the
pay,
full
right?
monthly
Yeah.
amount, correct.
Yeah. I've heard about
And then you quickly renovate your house, quickly rent it
Correct.
out, and hopefully someone else will pay your bills.
Because I have a friend, right? He bought a place. Then he's like, "Oh, my house is going to be done soon." Then I was like, "Oh, why are you not celebrating?" He's like, "I need to pay more soon." Then I'm like,
It's true,
"Oh,
it's true.
No, but it's better for people who don't have that
Initial
big
capital.
bulk,
Yeah.
bulk of
Correct.
cash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this is turning out to be a property episode. Shall we?
All right, and hi guys, and welcome back to another segment of Pandai
Pandai,
Pandai, and with Cikgu Rich here. So today's task is trying to make Cikgu Rich laugh.
I'm gonna say first. I'm gonna fail. So
You should not.
You
No,
don't
we're
even-
gonna make him laugh by showing him a TikTok that we think is funny.
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
So it might differ lah, depending on our humor appetite. So
Got it.
and he has also mentioned that he is not someone who laughs very often. So
So we'll see.
we have it
Very
in
hard
for
lah.
us. Yeah.
I need millennial humor, guys. Millennial dad jokes, that's my type
So
of stuff.
Kim, you should have the upper edge here.
Right.
You know?
No.
Yeah.
I was just telling everyone that I don't look at TikTok at all. So I think
Okay.
you'll win. Okay,
Yeah,
let's go.
shout out. And for those listening in to Spotify, turn on the video mode so that you can see the video that we're actually showing Cikgu Rich. So this is the first one, this is my one.
I cannot see the
Not too bad.
Hey, solid laugh.
It's a good start, that's a
Solid
good
laugh.
start.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Solid
What is
laugh.
I like
Ozempic?
that. I like that. It's the weight loss drug, right?
Ah.
That one.
Yeah, I think he...
I only know it
It
because
works
the
for him.
stock market
Intellectual-
company for that one is very
intellectual
famous.
hero. Increase, right? Yeah. Yes.
Wow, I did not expect him to already so immediately laugh.
Yes, he laughed. Solid laugh. It was solid.
Sharp.
It was,
Not bad.
It was a solid
Sharp
look.
though, it was-
Haha.
Yeah. Not bad.
Okay, I did give context first. So this one is TikToker. Her sister moved into town with her.
You know, when your joke needs context, it's even harder
You
to make
cannot
someone.
read. You cannot read. That's why.
Okay. My eyesight very good one.
Okay. I couldn't read.
Not bad, not bad. Not bad, but I've seen it before.
No!
Not bad,
It's too
Okay,
much
you have
of
to
his
give your
humor.
first-
It's too much of his humor.
I am on TikTok. I am on
Okay,
TikTok, so
okay.
like-
Wow.
That
Oh
was
no,
good,
I'm
that was
gonna lose. I'm so sorry, guys. I apologize.
You
in
got
advance.
the excessive exhale, that kind of laugh. you know?
Okay, yeah.
Excessive exhale, small chuckle. Yeah.
Yes, got it,
Not
got
bad,
it, thank you.
I mean, if it's both of them now.
Like cereal on my tongue. Your body is
His body is shaking. Oh my god, I'm gonna hit you.
even
Terrible, why are we laughing? Shouldn't be laughing.
is all I want to eat. Hey mama.
Oh my gosh, is that 1 million likes I see? Or is that 1 million or 1,000? 1 million plus ah!
I think Caleb is 0.8 million of it.
I need to like rethink my life choices.
Okay, don't play again.
That was
If
good,
it
that was
were-
good.
This is our humor lah.
I guess it's not
Clearly,
millennial
one of us
humor.
here is an easy laugher.
Oh, you should see our try not to laugh challenge. I died.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I get to choose who was the funniest
the
out of the
funniest
three,
one.
is it?
Yeah.
Alright, I think I would have to go with Caleb's video on that one.
Yeah.
I think I like the intellectual
Intellectual.
humor. Yeah. Good job, bro. Good job.
Thank you.
That was good.
Whatever.
But you know, sometimes when I post, like, send this to like Joe and like Kim, right? They'll be like, what's this?
Yeah,
You don't send me anything.
Sorry,
Don't lie.
intellectuals. Great minds,
Yeah.
great minds. Yeah.
He's lying. Does he
Yeah,
send you
I
stuff?
know.
Well,
Yeah, but I want to talk a bit more about renting in general. Because we talk mainly about buying house and
Yeah.
using it as investment, right? So let's say if I am like me now, like 24 years old, not enough money to buy a house. I want to move out, but maybe rent first lah.
Yep.
So is there any basic steps or anything that we should take note of if I'm renting for the first time?
Oh,
If
this I
I'm
can tell you
moving
also.
out? Oh,
Yeah, maybe
Come.
from the one
No,
who's
no, no,
renting.
no.
spill the tea.
I can tell a little bit. Still struggling.
Go ahead.
Still struggling. Cannot tell. I will listen.
Okay.
I feel like for me as a renter, I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning. So
yes,
I
I need to
have
Best way to learn.
yeah.
mistakes.
Oh my gosh, horrible though. I rented 3 times already, and I've learned to always check the terms in the contract, the tenancy agreement. Usually it's a default template, but sometimes they add 1 or 2 things. And usually there's I forgot what it's called, but there's a 1 month or 2 week live-in period. And if you see issues with the home, then you can actually tell the landlord and then they'll fix it for you. But most of the time I realized, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I realized that that duration is always 2 weeks. And it's not enough because you take the first week to move, you clean, you set your place up, you're constantly going in and out. And you only really have 2 weekends to properly stay in your house to figure things out at home. And that is so not enough to figure out all the issues. There was once I agreed, the first time, my first ever mistake, I agreed to the 2 weeks because I don't know better, right? And I only used maybe the air conditioning at night when I sleep. Then on the 3rd week, so the 2 week period was up. On the 3rd week, I had a housewarming because that's when I felt more settled in. At a housewarming, I turned on the living room aircon, my room aircon because there was a baby who came and wanted to sleep, so I put the baby in there. Not my own baby, someone else's baby. Then the living room had 2 air conditioning, so I turned on both at the same time. Usually I don't, and everything just tripped. And I was, because we were cooking, we were heating things up. It was Christmas period, So a lot of things, the power was over. I don't know. I was
It's ironic
being,
you were doing a housewarming and then the aircon
Actual,
stopped
yeah,
working,
actually
huh?
warm.
Very ironic.
And I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh shucks, because everything tripped. I couldn't turn on the air conditioning multiple. So there was a lot of issues. And my landlord basically said, oh, sorry, the 2 weeks live-in, whatever period is up. And so you have to go and fix it. And the money, I tell you, the amount that I had to spend
Ouch.
to fix the entire air conditioning, the electricity, get someone in to check. It was really bad. When it tripped, I said, everything tripped. Like heater
Fridge.
also cannot, fridge also cannot, everything cannot. And I realized that certain plug points, when I turned on multiple at once, it will spark. Wow, so it's the entire electricity wiring thing,
Wow.
That was one of the biggest lessons I've learned. So after that,
No more.
1 month, please, everyone. Please give me 1 month. If not, I will not take. I really will not take it. My second, I don't know. Sorry, I'm whatever. But the second thing that I learned was your initial capital again to rent a place. you need to remember that it will be high in the beginning, and you need to be able to sustain. Because it's not just, the monthly rent is X amount. I can afford it. Perfect. But you've got the 2-month deposit lah, then the 1 month advance lah, half month for bills and water utilities and everything. And then on top of that, however many months that you need to pay upfront, you also need to go and do the moving fee, the packing fee, the deposit for the condo management, don't know what fee to move in and out. It's a lot
Great point.
upfront, you know. And so to remember that you need to have enough savings to pay that upfront, and then know that monthly when you have salary, it will cover you until you move out and then get all the deposit back. Because that money is gone. It's not like the first month, then I'm done. It's gone for the however many years that you're going to be staying there.
Understand?
Wow. So that was my second thing. That was my moving out for the first time was tough. I felt like my wallet, my bank become lighter and lighter and lighter.
Yeah, I think that's a good point in terms of for people, young people nowadays, where we always think about renting out. We think about the sum of money that we need to spend, the base sum, but actually there's a lot of additional hidden costs.
A lot more.
If something goes wrong, or if there's additional things that you must need to spend on lah. So I think that is something that we need to consider when, let's say, you're considering renting or buying. It's very important to know your own lifestyle and also your capability lah, in terms of whether you're able to actually afford it or not, or whether it's So
and when things go wrong, I think.
the
It's like,
backup fund lah.
it's like medical, right? You never know when you would fall sick and you need money. It's the same thing with a house. You never know when something will spoil and you go and fix it, you know?
Question for Cikgu Rich, right? So you are a renter.
I'm a landlord.
You're a landlord, right?
Renter is
yeah,
tenant,
correct.
right?
So we've been talking about rent, like us renting, right? But you as a landlord, right? Then what do you think about the 2 weeks clause, the 1 week, the 1 month clause, and how does that then affect the way that you are investing in these properties as well?
Right. So I look down from my high horse on all the peasants below. Not at all.
Heard it
not
here
at all.
first. You heard it here first.
Rage bait.
I would like to believe that I'm a very good landlord.
Wow.
If you rent from him, comment down
Correct.
You
below.
got any
Comment down below, comment down
empty units or not? I need to move soon.
coming up soon actually.
Ayo.
But how I view that question, I've never seen the 2 weeks clause in any of my contracts that I give to people. I follow the agent's standard contracts. Usually they don't put 2 weeks, then you report whatever is wrong. Usually there will be a table and they will tell you if these things spoil, the landlord will fix it. And if these things spoil, then the tenant will fix it.
Why mine so special? Mine always got the 2
So
weeks
I actually feel like your landlord was a bit of a red flag lah.
Yeah,
if I'm
they're
being
trying to hide
honest.
something.
So,
I know, but
because it's not your fault. So
Yeah.
usually when it's something wrong with the building, not through normal wear and tear kind of use, usually the landlord should be the one responsible for those.
Okay, so we also have the table.
Correct.
It's just that I have
Yep.
that 2 week additional.
Okay, I
clause.
don't have that in my
Yeah.
contract as far as I know. So far, all my contracts, don't have.
Oh, but I feel like it's actually beneficial for me to have that clause, you know, because at least I have time to. Because sometimes the issues are not so much the big ticket items. Sometimes the issues are the switch, the cover drop.
Right.
Then I'm not gonna fix it myself. Like you come and fix it because
Yep.
you're supposed to give me the place in tenable condition, right?
Yep.
So
And
all-
that is not in the table, right?
correct.
It's not listed. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually feel like that 2 week 1 month thing is actually more beneficial to me than the landlord.
So if you have a good landlord, then you don't even need
because
the 2
you
weeks.
make
'cause
sure.
even 6 months down the line, if you text me at midnight and say something spoiled, the TV spoiled, that was the latest one that I had to replace. Like, okay, I'll come and replace it.
No way.
It's not
Oh,
in
you give
the
TV also,
schedule.
ah?
Yeah, my unit fully furnished one.
Fully furnished. Okay.
Fully furnished can fetch better rent.
Yeah,
how
that's
it
true.
You heard it here.
I see. Okay. Enough about house talk. Okay, I don't have
Sorry.
enough money to buy a house.
Or rent a house.
I am still living with my mother. Okay.
Oh, that's really loud. That was really from the gut.
Why red? You guys do it red.
Angry.
Yeah. So with that being said, baby steps. Okay, we need to start with savings first.
Yes.
That's what
No,
my
it's
mommy.
true.
That's what my mommy taught me. Okay, we need to start with savings first. So, is there any tips or any guidelines or any specific amount that I should be saving if, let's say, I am at my first job? I just graduated. I'm at my first, having my first job. Like, is there any specific amount that I should be saving or any percentage that you
Right.
would recommend
Right.
for me to build my empire?
There's a lot of advice on this one. Maybe I ask you guys first. How many of you guys, right, you get your salary on the 26th of the month, for example, or the 1st of the month, then you pay off your bills, your important spending first, your needs, your rent, And then after that, you spend a little bit on your wants, whatever you want in life, fancy cafe, whatever it is. Then the balance that you have, you save it. Anyone save it? The balance? Anyone following this pattern?
It's a floating fund.
That's not a pattern.
It's a floating fund, but we have another bank account which I put my savings into.
Okay, that works. Yeah.
I use my current bank has a boost pocket. So if you guys use it, you know what that term is. You probably know the bank. So it has a boost pocket. So I will put 20% of my salary before anything goes out. 20% of my salary goes to the boost pocket. It's a savings, whatever. And then I pay off all the debt and everything and all the commitments.
Excellent.
Then whatever's remaining, I spend on whatever I want. Most of the time, the remaining is not a lot.
But that's okay because you said you already saved before that.
Yeah.
Right? So that's actually the point that I want to make is that most people, what they do is they spend first. And then if I have a balance, I save it. If I don't have a balance this month, I try
don't
again
save
next month.
So
I
savings
try
is
again.
not a
There's
priority.
always February month.
I tried that before.
Yeah.
Cannot
doesn't work.
lah.
And then you just look at your bank account. 4 figures. Okay,
Yeah.
still can survive. 3 figures. Okay, time to
No lah,
diet a
then
bit.
you start saving
2
it.
figures. I die lah.
You save $10. $20.
$20.
But you know what
5 cents.
the other danger is, right? When someone like Kimberly, for example, sets aside 20% every month, and then one day when she wants to go holiday,
I just spend.
she looks at that tempting savings
Yeah.
pool over there, and it's like, wow, that looks very tempting right now,
Actually, no
Oh, wow,
because
that's good.
you know why? No, and I only say this because I've gone through all of that. So yes, when I was younger, that happened. I spent on all my fancy bags, all the branded things, and I'm holiday, I just buy lah. Can one? It's okay. That's why I save. That's why I save. But I don't remember, or at least I don't have the foresight to go. I'm saving all this because next time I want to get married, have house, buy whatever. So then I spend. But now I look at that and go, that is not enough to retire.
Correct.
And so
correct.
I guess the experience and the planning for the future has changed, I guess. Yeah.
Yep.
So actually, I feel like I don't have enough money all the time.
I think
Which is
just to
scary.
hop onto that, right? You mentioned that you put it in a boost account, right? Like tabung account.
Okay. Yeah.
Tabung is savings account.
Okay, thank
so
you,
Then,
yes.
so then, is it necessary for me to I put it in my tabung, but then I also put it into other kinds of tabungs, like traveling fund, or should I all take from one singular savings fund?
I do that.
You do that,
I do the one saving.
Yeah, one
account
saving
thing.
one.
Yeah. So
but I know some people like to make it very
yeah.
granular.
Yeah, correct.
And like go like there's still my savings for my rainy day, but there's also saving for travel.
Yep. I'm not like that personally. That's too much planning for me.
Yeah,
So I
same.
just, I know some people do it, some people don't.
Yeah.
That's why, when you say the word personal finance, right? The word personal means,
It's your
it's
own.
at the end of the day, you decide. Yeah.
Whatever
But I
that
think-
makes sure that your lights are on, your food is on your table.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. Lights on, very important. But I think to come back to the question, right, like how much should you be saving? So you mentioned 20%. That's the common rule that we usually hear, right? In
Wow.
Malaysia.
I'm following all the rules, guys.
It
Why
is,
am
it
I
is.
not rich yet?
Yeah, you're following the
You like to
Malaysian rule,
follow
not the-
rules, yeah?
Shucks, man.
If you follow the Singapore rule, maybe you'll be rich. Malaysian rule 50, 30, 20 lah, the
What's
common
that?
one.
What's 50,
What's that?
30,
So
20?
50% of your money that you earn
Expenses.
should go to your needs. Yeah.
50%.
30% goes to your wants.
20% savings.
20% savings. Yeah.
Then what's the Singapore rule? Isn't that the
I
same?
don't know, but they all rich. I should find out, right?
Rich,
Hey, but
We should find out.
Shucks.
You're from Singapore, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us?
am I rich?
Fair point.
Then
you
I
need
will
to buy
tell
house.
you.
You need to buy house now.
We'll find another
Different, yeah?
Singaporean to
Find someone else, please.
Yeah. But I think for the 50, 30, 20 rule, it's a good start, but there is one flaw with this rule.
Okay.
Because it's based on percentage, right? What people fail to realize is when you start out with like a 3K salary, then you can follow 50, 30, 20, it makes sense. 20%.
He can.
Yeah, 20% makes sense because it's like 600 ringgit. So it's good if you're on a 3K salary.
That's still a lot of money.
This is a financial red flag. This is what a financial red flag is like.
Oh no.
No, it's okay because the perspective that I'm giving is like, okay,
Yeah.
3K. For example, they moved out. They are in an entry level role. They are not from KL.
Yeah, I don't think it's
They are
possible.
Renting
Still
a room.
possible. Still possible.
Really?
I think it's possible,
600
eh?
is rent for the month.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and
He's like,
electricity and
and-
water. But then like you need to save another 20% on top of that.
Yeah.
So then that means based off the rule, right? 50%, 20% gone. Only 30% is meant for your day-to-day living.
So 50% for needs, 30% for wants.
Correct. So that 20%, right? It's already taken up by about that 50%. That 20% is taken up by rent, and then you still need to pay for your car, for example, like maintenance. You
Yep.
take mileage into consideration.
Yep.
Petrol. We love cheap petrol. Thank you, Malaysia. And then, but then you also need to take into consideration, for example, if they're already taking a loan for something, if they are financing,
Which they shouldn't be at a fresh grad stage, which I would advise against. Yeah.
But I guess one thing that is standing out to me, if we're talking about Malaysia, Singapore, right, is car. Really, it really makes a difference. No matter how much we say that, oh yeah, Malaysia's so cheap, so cheap, so cheap. Yeah, sure. But it's still an additional amount. A bulk of your salary goes to car.
Yep.
Because in Singapore, no, that's not happening. You spend $2 per day on public transport. Max.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think.
You think back to back is very cheap,
I think
right?
already we are saving so much because you don't even consider a car when you are just starting out, or even as a senior whatever in an agency. I'm not going to consider a car until I'm married and maybe wanting to have children, because it's so crazy expensive. Already the letter to get a car already is
COE.
yeah, the COE is already
crazy.
so it's already equivalent to how much it is to get a car here.
The piece of paper is the
Paper,
same.
yeah.
As a
That
car
piece of
here.
paper is 30% and increasing recently to about 40% of your car price also.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
So already I guess that's one of the biggest differences in terms of money out in Malaysia lah.
Oh yeah, but coming back, sorry.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
sorry to
yeah,
interrupt
sorry.
you.
What were we
interesting
saying?
About
segue.
3K
So 50, 30, 20, right?
Yeah.
It can work for a 3K salary if you're disciplined. Eat chap fun, no cafe hopping
That's
on
true.
Shafan
weekends.
at 8:30 because it's 50% off.
That now we're thinking.
Yes,
Beige
yes.
flag now, beige flag. Red flag to beige flag already, yeah. So the 50, 30, 20 rule, it works well for lower salaries, but when you're earning 10K a month or
Okay.
15K a month, you shouldn't be only saving 20%.
Yeah, you spend
Hide
50%
more,
of
right?
that. Is
Yeah.
crazy.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. If you don't feel it yet, right, you're like, Cikgu Rich, why? Is it too low or what? So imagine someone's earning 100K a month, lah. Just imagine. Out of 100K, that means they spend 80K and
On
only
their
save
ones.
20K.
On their ones.
Yeah, and it's like, that doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah,
so the
yeah,
more
yeah.
you earn, actually the 50, 30, 20 rule starts to become more of a suggestion rather
Right.
than like you must hit it.
So you should actually save more.
You should save more.
But see, this is how the rich become richer and the poor become poorer.
It's true.
Really?
Facts.
It's true.
Because you are able to have the money to save more.
I think for a young fresh grad kind of entry level kind of job, right? I think that a good tip I heard from people is you use that money, your savings as investment. That's where you get passive
Yep.
income. You get to multiply your savings. So do you think that like we should be investing our savings? Do you think investment is a separate percentage that we should be cutting out from our income, or how do I invest with my money?
How do you start?
With my very little money.
Wow.
Say
Sweat.
that,
Another
don't
big
say
question.
that.
Okay.
need to know.
You hit it actually right on the head. So when you say, you have a lot of savings, you should be investing. In fact, in the intro, right, you guys were saying, hey, my bank account got 3 digits. My bank account also got 3 digits only because all
Yes,
of my spare
yeah.
cash should not be in my bank account.
Wait, so you're saying your savings you are investing, or are you saying your...
Everything that is extra is being invested.
Really?
Correct. So imagine
You
each
got no fluidity though.
liquidity, I believe.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
liquidity.
Sorry.
On that note, can you explain what's liquidity?
Liquidity means you have money to pay for your day-to-day expenses.
Liquid
lah.
cash.
Like if you only own a house but you don't have cash in your wallet, you can't buy anything
For
because
the house,
you need
yeah.
to sell your house first. It's like,
Yeah.
that's not liquid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So most of my money is in robo-advisor apps in low-risk investments.
Okay.
Low risk. I purposely put low risk, and then every month it will allocate into higher risk. So that's
Okay.
how I invest.
Okay.
So the low risk investment becomes my new bank savings account. For your question on liquidity right just now, I can withdraw the money within about 2 to 5 working days.
Okay.
So it's liquid
so
enough. Yeah. So I just need to survive 2 to 5 days and then I can withdraw however
Sure.
much I need lah. Yeah, which is enough for me.
Makes sense.
So
Makes sense.
what would you consider a low risk investment and what would you consider a high risk investment? Because I think I've heard a lot of people talk about, you should put more money in your EPF. For scheme, EPF
I know,
is
I know,
our
CPF, correct.
yeah, equivalent.
That one similar enough.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when I use my robo-advice, I use a platform as well. I just change the slider. Low risk, high
Correct,
risk.
correct.
The percentage become 50%, then it will change to moderate risk. So okay lah.
Orange color moderate.
It's like,
color high
wait,
risk.
Yeah, you are spoon-fed now with all these platforms
Yep.
because it will just give you a description. Moderate risk, you have to be okay with XYZ, 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 and they tell you.
Okay.
But do you understand the risk that comes with it though?
They tell you lah. High chance to.
So I think Cikgu Rich,
Yeah.
high risk, low risk.
Sure. I think the first thing I want to mention is, you know that age-old saying, low risk, low return, high risk,
High reward.
high return or high reward, correct? Yeah, low risk, low reward, high risk, high reward. But the problem with that quote, right, when most people hear it, right, Malaysians, when we hear that term, right, we only focus on the reward. We hear high risk, high reward. We just hear high reward.
Invest.
Yeah,
Reward,
invest. I
reward,
want high
reward.
reward. I want high
will
reward.
invest.
And everyone forgets the high risk part.
Yeah.
So basically, when you say low risk, low reward, it means that your money, let's say you dump in 10K into your first investment, tomorrow night, it won't become 5K.
Of course.
Because it's low risk. Maybe after
500.
1 year, it might drop to 9,800 ringgit.
Okay.
And that's normal because that's low risk. That's considered very low risk already.
Oh.
But if you invest in high risk,
He's
high
like, lose
risk would-
money. I don't want to lose money
you
though.
might lose money. You might lose money. High risk would be like stock market, certain stocks, or like cryptocurrency. Those are high risk investments. Today you put in 10K. Tomorrow you might end up with 5K.
5K.
Yeah, so that is high risk. But tomorrow you could also end up with 50K.
Correct.
That happens once
That's
in a
what they
while.
focus on.
I think that's crypto,
Faster
right?
take out.
Crypto lah,
But
crypto.
their drop is horrendous.
It's bad,
You
it's
put
bad.
in 50K, tomorrow you might come out with $5.
I know,
Correct,
bullish. Is bullish now.
What's bullish?
That's the
bullish?
right term. You're
The
using
term.
the right term.
Who is that?
Who is bullish? Why is bull so important?
It means that it's peaking, right? It goes going
Correct,
up.
it's going up. It's going up.
It's the stock market is going up. I forgot what is the down.
Bearish.
Bearish.
Yeah.
There we go.
One is the
Yeah.
bull, one's the
bull is
bear.
a rar.
Correct. You know why or not? You know why it's called bull and bear or not?
Why?
I don't know.
Because bull hits upwards, bear paws downwards. That's the theory behind it. One.
Theory lah.
No, it's I believe that's a real explanation.
Oh,
You can fact check me on that one. I think it's
Wow.
real.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I know a
Finance
little bit.
bros,
Do I
bro.
invest? No.
Finance
So yeah,
bros.
finance bros just overcomplicate everything. Up, just say up, right?
Yeah, correct.
If
Bull
Green
bear.
and green, red
Market
and red.
good, say good. Market bad, say bad.
Overcomplicate already. Yeah.
Correct.
So if for someone like me, my extra money, I put it into so robo-advisor apps, they have something called a money market fund usually, where it will give you roughly nowadays is about 3.5% returns around there, but it's very, very low risk. You won't lose money on those kind. Almost guarantee you won't lose money. All right. But then high risk are the ones where you put in money into, it will invest into the stock market.
Yep.
That one you might lose on bad years and you might gain a lot more on good years.
Ah.
Yeah. So to your question on EPF, right? EPF actually the returns are pretty good. It's close to 6%, 5.5, 6%.
Yeah.
That's very good returns. Very, very good place to keep money. But the downside is you need to wait till
Wait,
you're
yeah.
50,
Correct.
55 only.
Correct.
Then you can retire.
So I guess a follow-up question on that is, then is liquidity a risk factor per se as well? Like,
yeah.
because I put in money, right? But if when I need it, I really cannot take it out.
Yeah.
There's also like retirement funds, right? Like PRS.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's available in different banks. But it's like money that I cannot take out.
So is liquidity a problem, right?
yeah,
For those
yeah, yeah.
kind. Liquidity can be a problem or it can also be a good thing for some people. What do you mean? If you're not disciplined, EPF will keep you disciplined.
Correct.
Yeah, because you can't touch it.
Correct.
A lot of people, right? If I'm managing my own investments, right? Then one day my friends ajak me to go holiday to Korea, Japan, Europe lah. I look
Just
at my
take-
investment pool, right? What's the harm, right? I just
Correct.
withdraw a bit. Hey, what's the harm, right? You know, BYD got new car, very nice one. I already got how many 100,000 for my
Yeah.
retirement.
Understood.
So, okay, I just take a little bit, just move a
Yeah.
little bit of money around. So for those kind of people, EPF, PRS, very good for
Sure.
them. But if you are a very disciplined kind of guy, disciplined investor, you need a bit of liquidity. Yeah, you can split a bit to EPF, a bit on your own.
Sure.
Understand.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like financial planning is not something that is talked about enough for us to even manage our finances well.
Yeah, the key takeaway will be, discipline lah. Especially when it comes to savings. It's something that we really need to force ourselves to do it so that, you enjoy the returns in the future lah. And I think another part of spending your savings would probably be, not spending your savings, but spending your income would probably be insurance. And I think a lot of people don't really know the importance of insurance. And I think I'm also quite privileged in a sense where, my parents really pay for insurance from when I was young until now. And just when I start working, then they say, hey, you start paying for your own insurance. Then only you realize actually it is a sum of money that you need to commit every month.
Yep.
And you don't even know why, especially when nothing happens, then you're like, that money could have been
gone. Yeah.
could have been
Correct,
somewhere else. I
correct,
could have
correct.
saved up for a trip or something. So
Yep.
is insurance something that's, we really should be investing in,
Yes.
or what kind of insurance would you recommend?
Life. critical illness.
Oh, but life is expensive.
What is life?
No, it's very important. Sorry. Let's get the professional.
Yeah.
What is life,
No,
guys?
because
I don't know what insurance I have actually.
my opinions only come from experience.
Yeah.
His come from
Many
actually.
experiences.
no, my
Shared experiences with other people.
no, yeah, okay, I'll share later, but you can go first.
Okay, interesting. Wow. Cikgu Rich's opinion. Life insurance, not as important
Really?
yet. Not as important yet.
Yet. What's yet?
Until you have people who depend on you.
no,
Meaning
makes
that
sense.
if you die tomorrow, right? Do you have kids who need to depend on you? Or is your husband or your wife working or not working?
Wouldn't your premiums be higher though?
Your premiums meaning?
Like when
Oh, you mean
start
like
later.
if you start later,
Yeah.
right? Correct, but you might still save more from not having life
Right.
insurance at the
But
start.
what is
Okay.
life insurance, guys? No one has answered.
Oh
me.
yeah, life
you pass
insurance. Life insurance is when you pass away or something happens to you. Yeah, there's also a certain parts of life insurance like TPD we call it, or CI, critical illness. TPD is total permanent disability. So if something happens to you, you become disabled, or you get a critical illness like cancer, or if you pass away from anything. Within a certain time frame, usually until you're 60 years old, then the insurance company pays out to your family or whoever
Your
you want.
dependents lah.
Yeah, your dependents, a large amount of money.
Okay. So why wouldn't you recommend it?
So
Oh, yeah.
it's expensive. That's the first part. And life insurance, right? It doesn't make sense if you are single or you don't have any kids. Let's say you're only going to have your first kid when you're 40 years old. Then the first 20 years of your working life, you're paying life insurance.
For what?
Okay, let's say you're a guy lah.
Yeah lah, man.
For men, nowadays it's very common. You wait 35 for men, okay?
Then get married.
Correct, you get married later in life.
shocked.
Why are you paying life insurance if when you die, right, who does the money need to go to? Your parents ah?
Yeah.
Or your siblings who are also working. They don't need life insurance payout. Like they're
Fine,
all working.
fair enough.
If you have a spouse and they are not working, very important. Get life insurance for them. Let's say housewife, house husband. It's 2025 house husbands. Yeah,
Amen,
I look
amen.
out for you guys. Yeah, then you get life insurance for them lah. Yeah.
Just-
If you have a kid, something happens to you, something happens to mommy or daddy,
Yeah.
the kid needs to survive.
Yeah.
Life insurance.
Understand.
But for people in our age group, medical insurance first.
Oh yes.
So
Also.
important. Medical insurance is the one we should be looking for.
In terms of different kinds of packages or different types of insurance, right? What are some red flags or things that we should be keeping an eye out for when let's say I'm picking a new policy or a type of insurance?
Okay.
Why asking all the difficult questions?
I want to know. Some people don't have. I don't know. I only know insurance. I don't know the
Any
different types of
Life
insurance,
insurance,
the
medical
policies, everything. Yeah, so I really want to know.
You know, maybe before I even answer that, can I add on to my previous answer? I
Sure
feel like
thing.
something very important the viewers need to know before we move to red flags, right? Is why medical insurance is so important. I didn't explain that yet. And I feel this is so important for people to hear. Medical costs are rising like crazy. To give you the statistic, right? If you Google, general inflation in Malaysia is about 2.5% on average.
Yep.
So your food, your items that you buy, electronics, you average out everything, roughly 2.5%. And we already complain. Medical inflation is 5 times worse.
It's wrong.
It's about
Whoa.
12%.
12%.
12%.
I think I read an article recently that said that the Malaysian healthcare system is very scary because the inflation that we are seeing within our medical system is very similar to another country which has very expensive and inflated healthcare because of insurance payout to hospitals. Is that?
Actually, I'm
Something
not sure of
related?
the full reason why. I'm sure there are many factors that go into why medical costs are rising. Maybe also aging population,
Correct,
more
correct.
demand for hospitals, not enough supply,
Understand.
all kinds of factors. But all we need to know is it's getting much worse. So that leads me to this point, right, where it's like, in the future, we probably can't afford to pay for private hospitals on our own.
Oh no, that's so
That's
scary.
why medical insurance
So
is so
expensive.
important. To give you
Wow.
another statistic, right? 2013, kidney failure treatment with surgery and everything,
Yeah.
cost was about 150K.
Okay.
7 years later, 2020, it went up more than double, 330K. So 150 to 330K.
So keep your
In your
kidneys.
7
Wow.
years. Now it's 2025. It could be even higher than that.
yeah. So I guess with how we are living nowadays, with I don't know, just being in front of screens more, not as active as well. I mean, I think obesity rates also are high in youth and also in the older population. We are in need of medical coverage. It is something that you cannot avoid.
Yeah.
You know, but I think for me, the reason why I say life, right, is because my brother, he passed away a few years ago, like 10, 12
So sorry
years
to hear
ago.
about
No,
that.
it's okay, thank you. But I think that with that situation, it is a very out of the box kind of situation. It's not something that's common, right? But it showed my family that actually, okay, when someone passes away, it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's not like, what happens behind the scenes? I don't know.
Yeah.
It is expensive. And we realized, oh my goodness, like if we actually invested in the most basic life insurance, maybe, or critical illness coverage, it would have helped the family to cover.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not so much the dependence aspect, but it's more of to not burden anyone if something happened to me, I guess. So that's the only reason why I thought
Fair
life
perspective.
insurance is important. I guess also is lived experience, right? Before that, I'm like, for what? Am I going to die now? No.
Yep.
But because this has happened in the family, and I guess in the extended family as well, you really see that it is something that you don't really think about because it doesn't happen as often. Yeah. But I agree with you. The medical insurance one, so important, especially for the aging parents.
Yeah.
Really. You think you have a lot of money now, but the minute you, one time, bam, go hospital,
Yep.
A checkup is 10K, 10, 15K.
painful,
alone.
you know. Yeah.
Coming back to, I think, Joe's question on what do you look for then, right? When you're signing,
Yes.
when you're ready to sign your contract, right? Actually got so many things to look for, but I'll just give you a few of the very important ones that you need to look out for. Mainly, I'm going to be talking about medical insurance. Life insurance, maybe do one whole episode on that one. For medical insurance, mainly, the first thing you want to look at is what age does your policy cover you until?
Okay.
And I made a mistake with this when I had my first insurance policy or my first insurance plan. So when I checked my app one day, then I realized, hey, my medical insurance, right? They cover me from 2020 until 20 however much. Then I realized if I work backwards, I'm 60 years old when my medical insurance ends. And if you think about
So
it,
expensive when you resign.
it's not just that. It's like if it ends at 60, when do people usually get
Get
sick
sick.
and illnesses and need
Exactly.
After the
surgery?
age of
Yeah.
60.
Precisely, right? So I was paying so much money and then I'm like, wait, I'm probably going to be healthy up until my 50s or
yeah.
60s. Then after that, you're telling me I don't have insurance coverage anymore. So always double check with your agents. Don't let them
So good.
don't let them hide that fact. Always double check. Try to get to like 80 years old.
If your agent is hiding that fact, find another agent.
Correct.
Also, by the way.
Scamming.
Correct. Second thing to look out for is the coverage amount. So this one might be a little bit more debatable. I would say try to purchase what you can afford. But something to keep in mind is medical costs when you are 60 are very different from medical costs today.
Yeah.
So you are signing your contract today, you will think, hey, 1 million sounds like a lot, but when you're 60 years old, 1 million is not a lot.
Not a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something to keep in mind.
That's a
You
good
don't
point.
account for inflation.
Correct. And medical inflation is the worst inflation around.
correct.
So you need to account for that. So to give you an example, I have a 1.5-year-old baby girl. And so for my daughter, when we bought insurance for her, we got a 10 million ringgit coverage. So to some people, it'll be like, hey, 10 million ringgit, need meh? Like the hospital bill's so expensive, meh? But when my baby is 60 years old,
You mean you bought all the way to 60?
oh no, I think it's for her until 80 years old maybe. Oh, it could be until 80 years old.
Her life is covered.
A reminder, she needs to pay for herself once she start working.
Maybe, yes.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Maybe, you know,
Just-
My baby girl.
It's a fair trade-off lah. It's a fair trade-off.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
So I think that's just something to keep in mind. Now in present time, you might think like, hey, 1 million, 5 million, too much, right? A bit overkill, right? Am I overinsured? But you need to think when I'm 60 years old.
Yeah.
That's true.
Correct. I
Oh.
so agree.
Other red flags, right? A very common one that agents, maybe now I focus more on the agents part. So insurance agents, if you're watching, this is the part where you tune out of the YouTube already.
Or you learn and not do it.
yeah, you don't scam.
That's true. A lot of agents, when they're trained to sell you things, right, they will try to play on your emotions, number one. So it's the strong word I want to use is manipulate lah. So they might say things like, I had an agent say this to me before. One of these auntie agents, she was telling me, oh, you know, this plan, this is the one, right? All the people who love their family will buy this plan for them.
Goodness.
Wow.
And I was like,
Wait,
okay.
but do you know this auntie? Is she
Oh,
related
yeah.
to you?
I know her, not related to me, but I know her. One.
Oh.
Yeah. So those are the kind of emotional manipulation tactics you need to look out for. The more subtle one, right, is they will say, oh yeah, people your age are insured up to this amount. And I look at the amount, I'm like, no way that's the average. There's no way that is the average amount, but they use it to make you feel like, hey, I'm missing out.
normal,
I'm like lagging behind, in my
Yeah.
protection. I need to do something about it. So all of these kind of emotional manipulation, they'll tell you all the sad stories lah. Someone claim 1 million ringgit. Out of their 100 clients, they maybe had 2 people claim insurance. Then they'll tell you all about those 2 people who got a lot of money from the insurance, which is true. But they are also trying to play on your emotions
Right.
to make you to
Buy more.
purchase.
But do you think that works though? Because I don't know about that. I'm not talking about myself right now. No matter how much you try to sell me, no matter how much you manipulate me and guilt trip me, if I look at the final thing and I say, oh yeah, that makes sense, I should. Then I look at the amount I have to pay monthly or yearly. And if I cannot afford the amount, I'll be like, I'm not going to pay the amount. I don't care how much I'm insured up to.
Yep.
I just cannot afford this.
That's great. Then comes tactic number 2. Sign up today for a limited time offer. And you can only get it for today or until the end of the month. So they put a time frame on it. That's another very common tactic.
Marketing.
They give you discount.
Yeah. They'll say this offer is only valid until end of this month. So you better sign up fast. Yeah, when people are trying to rush you into making a purchase,
right,
a lot of times you need to
Stress,
really
yeah.
think carefully. It may not be a scam, it may not be bad, but you really need to think twice before you sign.
Be wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think generally from this section about insurance, I think what we discussed mainly is about how important it is to have. I think it's not about the type is important, but I think it's more on just having medical coverage. The basic ones also is good enough, it's sufficient to just start if let's say you don't have insurance, and also knowing the duration like you mentioned, and also the price itself, whether you're able to afford it. I think that's also very important.
Do your homework before you commit also.
Yeah,
I
do
guess
your
to-
research
Correct.
as well.
And also to caveat, not everybody can afford insurance
Yeah.
in today's economy.
Yeah.
And
So there are some cheaper insurances for people who can't afford, but you need to research a little bit.
Right.
I think there's one called My Salam, for example, free insurance, don't pay anything. So there are B40 insurance options, but of course the coverage is much lower.
But summary is that you should lah. You should consider it lah.
look at your options, whatever
Correct.
fits your current socio-economic status, and that will move forward
Yeah.
with that.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay, so I think generally talking about financial management, from talking about loans to talking about your savings to talking about investments, and then lastly talking about insurance lah. Is there any I'll ask Cikgu Rich first. Okay, any final tip that you want to give to let's say young adults now regarding financial management? Anything that is very important that you want to highlight to the young people now?
Final tip for today.
Yeah.
Final tip for today, I think, was something that changed my perspective on finances. And it's why I can say I'm rich today, like at the start, right? When you asked me that question. And that would be actually that a lot of you watching this podcast, and a lot of us in this room here today are actually very privileged. Even though you may not feel like it, but then after I learned a few statistics, and I used to work in an NGO where I meet poor people in Malaysia to help them with cash aids and stuff. And then I start to realize hey, actually I'm very blessed actually. So to give you a few statistics, right, that really changed my mind. Have you guys all been on aeroplanes before?
Yes.
All of you have, Do you know that 80% of the world has never been on an airplane?
Yes.
80. It's crazy.
80.
I don't know the
think it's
statistic, but I
60.
knew that it was quite a
I
bit.
would think it's 60, but 80 is huge.
It's
Yeah,
huge.
it's
Yeah, you
huge.
think about that, 8 out of 10 people in the world. So for me, right, I travel for work so regularly on planes. I go on holidays not even once a year, more than once a year.
Yeah.
So to think about that is wow, why am I complaining? Why do I feel
Yeah.
like life owes me something
Yeah.
more, right? When actually I'm already so blessed. I give you one more stat. There was a 2018 statistic. That's the latest one I could find for an accurate number. They said to be in the top richest half of the world. So you're richer than 50% of the world. All you need in net worth is $4,000 US.
Per month?
That's it. No, $4,000 US net worth. Everything you own.
Oh,
Not per
Everything
month.
I own?
Correct. And you're richer than half the world.
rough calculation is 16K of assets.
16 plus or minus.
Worth of assets.
Yeah, correct.
Assets, even house. Huh?
So
Everything, yeah.
assets
Anything of
means
money, yeah.
cash.
The stuff you
Investment.
own minus
Yeah.
the stuff you owe other
Correct.
people. Yeah. Yep. Just 4K USD, which is about 16 to 17K
Yeah.
ringgit. And you're richer than half the world. That was a 2018 statistic. Maybe now it's slightly higher, but I would guess it's somewhere around there as well.
That makes me so sad to think that there's so many not as privileged people.
Yeah, so I feel like the mistake that we often make, right, as Malaysians, as Malaysians in T20 backgrounds, for myself, for example, we often make upward social comparisons.
Correct.
Yeah.
Where we look at people above us, we look at the top 1% on Instagram, and we feel like, hey, I'm missing out in life. Then suddenly we start to think like, hey, going to Japan every year is the norm. Why am I not there yet? Because I see everyone else is doing it. But actually, that is not the norm. We're probably looking at the top 10% richest people in Malaysia who are going to Japan every year, for example. So I think if I could leave one final piece of advice with us, with all our viewers, would be actually, we need to learn to be more content with what we have.
So good.
Oftentimes what we need is not more money, it's more contentment. And I have this one quote that I like to say, which is, if you can find contentment, you are already richer than most of the people in this world. And that's why when you ask me, am I rich? I will say yes. I'm
Then
rich.
I'm also rich.
You're also rich. Hey, just now you're complaining about money, right?
Never. Who?
Oh, okay. Can we cut to that? Can we cut to that
Money
scene
what?
where she was just yeah, we'll let the editors sort
Money
that
who,
out.
money what? So actually I feel like I don't have enough money all the time. So good. That's so good.
To
I
conclude
love
everything
that.
is to not look at the Chanel, but look at the roti canai. That you cannot afford. That people, a lot of people cannot afford as well.
Roti canai is so expensive nowadays. But yes, you got the point. You got the point.
Don't look at the Chanel, look at the roti canai.
Correct.
Anyway, we have reached the end of the episode. Thank you so much, Cikgu Rich or Richard, for joining us. I think we learned a lot. I think we really managed to cover a lot of different kind of things. But if we didn't, cover anything, that you have any other questions that you want to ask regarding finance, regarding investments, feel free to leave it in the comments. We'll try and get it back to you. So
He'll get back to you, not us.
Yeah.
Follow him on
The
his
professional.
socials.
Yeah. And
Shout out.
if there's anything else, you can leave it in the comments. And that's all for today. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Bye. Click here for more and click here to subscribe.
It never ever appears,
it never
right?
comes out. I think you should just stop.
I think you should stop.
Yeah, you are making it awkward for the editor.
No, it's coming out now.
Yeah.
Because we got 2 episodes already. So it will come out now. It will come out now.
Where?
Huh?
Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.